Okay, let's unpack this. We are dropping you straight into the Death Hunter Core Station at basically 4 a.m. It's that kind of hour where, the fatigue really sets in and the true dangers of their whole operation just become glaringly
And
obvious.
the timing is so critical. A massive high-stakes interrogation is just wrapped up, and they've done something, well, almost impossible. They've captured and bound an extremely powerful entity, an Elder One.
A Knight of Styx, specifically.
Exactly. So now the whole organization is at this fork in the road. What do? Do they release it, hoping its powers are limited enough now, or do they try to bargain with it?
And right at this moment, our main guy, Marcus the Highborn Nephilim, who's our eyes and ears for this deep dive, he just stumbles in. And he is absolutely spent, just completely drained of energy.
Right, because he just had to use that keyword,
Mhm.
the one his father, Ewan, left
Yeah.
behind. We know Romero used it once, and it nearly took him out.
So Marcus is at his lowest point, physically. But he has to immediately process one of the highest risk decisions the Corps has ever faced. That keyword's energy cost, it's not just physical, it's a signal, right? It tells you just how much power Ewan, and by extension Marcus, really has.
It's power the Corps desperately needs, but, they barely understand it.
So that's what we're here to understand today. The outcome of that bargain. Marcus sees the Elder One choose to work for the Death Hunter Corps. Our mission is to really analyze the nature of this new, unbelievably volatile asset and dissect the bizarre contract that now defines their relationship.
Let's start with the captive's identity, because this is where it gets complicated. Marcus, being a highborn Nephilim, he has this sight of the Creator. He can see what this thing really is. And it's not just some powerful demon.
No, it's layered.
It's so layered. It's the soul of a Knight of Styx that's been fundamentally bound to the physical body of a feral-like creature.
A creature he identifies as one of the demon princes of the underworld. So it's not one enemy. It's a convergence of two.
Precisely. You have the strategic mind, the pure malice of a Knight of Styx, trapped inside a vessel of just raw physical power. And you have to remember, all of these fallen entities, they all serve Morningstar, Lucifer.
So this isn't some rogue agent they've picked up.
Not at all. It's a structural part of the enemy's hierarchy, and now it's sitting in their warehouse.
So who's in control? The knight's soul or the demon prince's, primal nature? The complexity is just staggering. How could they possibly think they could contain something like that?
Well, they use something almost as dangerous to do it, ancient magic. The binding spell that Dion and Simon used, it was described as a long-forgotten spell. It goes back thousands of years.
Yeah.
We're talking about magic from the fall of the ancients themselves.
And the source of that spell is so important. They didn't find this in some book. Because it was so old, so powerful, there was no written form. They had to pull the information directly from the Akashic records.
And that alone just tells you everything about Dion and Simon's mindset. Accessing the Akashic records is incredibly dangerous. It can destabilize reality itself. They basically used an Armageddon-level ritual just to shackle one being.
That's what it took for them to feel secure enough to even start a negotiation.
Right. And what's the immediate result? The Elder One needs containment, but not just to hold it. Its vessel, the demon prince body, it acts as a channel between worlds.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that kind of raw energy flowing inside your main headquarters.
So logistically, they move it.
Instantly. It's teleported 2 blocks away to an old storage warehouse. They need some distance, but not too much. It implies this channel needs to be monitored, maybe even used.
And the containment had to be perfect. Simon personally made sure the binding runes were fixed to the building itself. He chained it architecturally.
It gives them this illusion of safety, right?
Yeah.
But Marcus, he sees the folly in it immediately. You should never, ever trust a Deathwalker, especially a knight. And that distrust, it's about to be validated in, the most dramatic way possible.
This is where everything just pivots. The knight is secure, and Dion makes this unbelievably bold, almost reckless move. He just addresses the entity and says, "Now you need a name, you filthy bastard."
Can you imagine? Marcus is stunned. He just blurts out, "Are you crazy? Dion, did you just sell your soul to a Knight of Styx?"
Because that's the implication, right? Any deal with a knight is a net loss for your soul.
And Dion's response is amazing. He basically confirms it while dismissing it. He says something like, "From your point of view, yes, I sold my soul. But I claim it was a beneficial contract, one I wrote myself and negotiated during the interrogation."
A beneficial contract.
Can we just pause on that? A beneficial contract with a being whose entire existence is based on deception and exploiting the fine print. Dion is known for being cunning, for being conniving, But is he really smarter than an ancient entity of pure malice?
That's the billion-dollar question. And the knight, it complies. It says, I will accept these terms. But then it spits out, you, meat suits. The hostility is just dripping from that line. This is not a partnership.
It's an agreement of necessity. And that demand for a name is so important in this lore. A specific name, a true name, it often grants binding power. Or it can highlight a specific weakness. Dion is betting everything that the name gives him the leverage he needs.
So the deal is done, the knight is locked up, and the whole organization is now resting on Dion's, well, his insane gamble. And after seeing all that, Marcus is just wiped. He retreats, he goes back to his apartment, which, by the way, tells you a lot about their world. It runs on recycled solar panels he scavenged.
And the city around him is just barren. Rubble everywhere, scavengers. It's the aftermath of Vance's raiding parties from years ago. It's a constant reminder of how close to collapse they always are. And in this ruin, the defenders of humanity are now housing a demon prince.
So Marcus tries to sleep to recover the energy from using that keyword. But when he wakes up, the stress is still there. He feels this huge burden, the weight of being the last Sion Guardian.
And let's be clear what that means. The Sion Guardians were the ancient protectors. They fought against the very things the Corps is now trying to use. Marcus realizes his history is way more gruesome than the adventure stories his father told him about the Trian Titans.
The heroes of the Kaiser Wars.
Right. And Marcus is living in the messy, dark aftermath of all that. He feels this responsibility to stop history from repeating itself. Only this time, it could be worse.
And he sees that same darkness in Dion. He knows Dion's past is a mystery, just fragments and old case files from that same era. The two most powerful men in the Corps, both tied to these ancient dark histories.
So Marcus needs answers. He gets the tactical benefit, sure. Keep your enemy close, learn their weaknesses. But the risk is, it's just astronomical. He has to know Dion's real motivation.
Which is why he takes the old case files on Dion to Romero, his mentor. He finds him in the armory, polishing an old six-shooter.
It's such a classic mentor scene. Instead of a straight answer, Romero gives him a quiz, a riddle. He asks, what sees in all directions but only has one focus point?
And Marcus is just not in the mood. He's stressed, he's irritated, he guesses something obvious like a lens.
But Romero shuts that down immediately. A lens has two focus points. No, the answer is the demon in the warehouse a few blocks away.
Okay, why? Why is that the perfect answer to the riddle?
Because it's the exact analysis Marcus needed. The demon sees in all directions because it's a channel to the underworld. It has insight into all of Morningstar's plans. It sees the entire strategic landscape. But its one focus point is singular, unchanging.
The destruction of the Death Hunter Corps?
Or at least its subversion. The runes, the contract, they might give them an illusion of control, but its fundamental purpose, its loyalty, is absolute hatred for them.
And that's the confirmation. Marcus immediately puts it all together. They officially have their own double agent for the Deathwalkers.
Exactly. Romero confirms it. This captive isn't just an informant. It's a calculated high-risk strategic tool. They are knowingly leveraging a creature of pure darkness for intel.
Which brings us to the end of this whole immediate crisis. The Death Hunter Corps has this wildly dangerous new asset. It's contained by world-shaking magic and held by a contract that probably cost their leader his eternal soul.
The complexity is just overwhelming. And everything, everything, hinges on control. Which brings us back to the name. Marcus knows he has to find the specific name of this knight.
And why is that so critical?
Because it's a composite entity, remember. Knight's soul, demon prince's body. If he finds its true name, the name that defines its rank and power in the underworld, he can figure out how much influence this thing can really wield. Does the name give them more power to bind it? Or does it unlock some catastrophic weakness tied to its demon prince side? That's the key. Is it a tool? Or is it a loaded gun they just handed to the enemy?
And so that's where they are, convinced they've harnessed the underworld, but terrified of what it might already be doing to Dion.
Right, and to the whole organization by extension.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to really mull over. Considering the massive bloody history here, the fall of the ancients, the Trian Titans, the Kaiser Wars, if the Knight's knowledge is so vital that it justifies this insane risk, what catastrophic secret could possibly be in Dion's beneficial contract that made selling his soul an acceptable price? What could he possibly gain that outweighs eternal damnation? That's what you need to keep exploring.